It's a quiet Monday morning in Cape Town, but Wildlife Inspector Kira Joshua has a diplomatic incident on her hands. She's heading out to the leafy suburb of Constantia, where many foreign embassies and consulates are located.
We got a call from the Czech consulate saying that there's a porcupine in the garden. They don't know how the porcupine got inside. They are a bit concerned that they have a ridgeback, so they don't want the ridgeback getting harmed by the porcupine in any way. So we're just going to go down just to see where the porcupine is, and hopefully we can guide him gently into the box, and then from there we'll release him.
The consulate's ridgeback guard dog is being kept well out of the way. Kira's brought Inspector Wayne Hector to give her a hand. This is Wayne's first porcupine case. Porcupines are not usually aggressive, but if they feel threatened, they can use their needle-sharp quills to attack.
What you basically have to be aware that he doesn't actually run into you with the quills. They just run into the person or animal that's causing a threat to them. So one person go behind with the board, another one on this side so he doesn't head this way. Because what we want to do is just like move him into the box.
So into the fence and all along to the box.
Put the box over there.
They need to persuade the porcupine to go into the pet carrier under its own steam.
Let me go to the back because they reverse into you. I'd rather go to the back. I've got a bigger board. But they tend to reverse into you, so.
The quills are barbed, so once they're in the skin, they're very difficult and painful to get out.
I just need one of you guys just to block off this area over here. Hey, guy.
Okay, what's it?
No.
What? Other way. Oh, no. Put it in the net, in the net.
Like many wild animals, the porcupine is at its most dangerous when it's cornered.
Wait. Box.
That's it. Wait.
Push the box quickly. Wasn't obviously as we wanted. Didn't want to put him in the net or anything. But now it's the mission of, from the net, guide him into the box. Give me the box. Okay. Oh, babes. Damn it. Wait, mine.
The man at the gate is perilously close to those quills.
Give me the box. No. Wayne, flush it against there. So make sure that you can just close the box. Put it on the door. Okay, into the box, babes. Into the box. Sorry. Into the box. There we go.
Is he very stressed now?
Well, for anybody, like when we get stressed, the heart rate increases and that. So what we need to do right now is just move him like really quickly to an area where he can be released and just calm down. We're taking him through to Orange Cliff on that side by Table Mountain National Park. So the rangers are going to meet us there at that point, and we're just going to release him.
Kira doesn't want to keep the porcupine in the box any longer than necessary. She's already arranged a release site.
Nice. We're gonna flip. You have to go out now. Come on. Okay, it's coming. Feed him.
Yeah, he's back home, yeah, in the wild. He's lucky. Some of them don't make it. I don't know if it's the place where he was born, but at least it's more like home to him, so he's familiar with the environment.
Porcupine definitely gave us a run for our money. Like our idea of how we're going to capture him, he didn't like that idea. But it was good, and even at the end, he had his own idea of which way he's going to go, not our way, which is wildlife for you. So, yeah, so it's a good ending.
It's a good ending for Kira, and a new beginning in a safe environment for the porcupine. Inspector Wilber Khenkebe and trainee Inspector Jacques Buis are on their way to Mitchell's Plain. Wilber's following up on a recent investigation. A horse is being kept in a garage with a concrete floor, no bedding, and barely room to turn around.
This is the horse, Wilber?
Yeah.
Hello.
I was here the day before yesterday and left a warning note, but no, he hasn't done anything.
Wilber's new to the horse care unit, but Jacques is a horse specialist, and he agrees the animal's not being properly looked after.
They haven't got shoes on, only one shoe, the one foot.
If you can see here, this is cement. A horse can't stay in a place like that. It has to be a bedding on here. The living condition is not good. It's too hard and it's too cold at night. This becomes very cold at night. It is cruel to keep him on this condition. For this size of horse, the space is not enough. It's not big enough. Okay,
the owner's not there, so they explain their concerns to his daughter.
The horse have to have bedding at all times.
They went to go look for bedding, but they have to go pay for the bedding.
You have to spend money for horses.
Yeah.
Can you show me the feeding, where you keep your feeding and on what are you feeding it on?
Is it al wat julle vir hom gee?
Yeah, because
Okay.
they're going to buy the others today.
And it's not suitable for a horse that is standing and is not working. Wilber, I think what you must do is give a warning where the owner, and we can have an appointment so that we can discuss this. Because he must give us answers, or otherwise we must take steps. Because this is cruel to keep the animal in this garage. It's like taking you and lock you up in a bathroom.
Now Jacques decides to take a look around the property.
Wilber, here's another horse standing. Did you know about this one? Must clean up here, Wilber.
It's only now that I see there's another horse here, and this place is really very dirty here.
Come, boyki. Come. All this stuff lying here is very dangerous. This is an accident to happen. Especially with this out here, the horse can jump over here. As you can see here, watch here. Okay? He can just be hooked here, try to jump over here, and he's going to kill himself.
Jacques and Wilber decide to give the owner one more chance. They'll leave a second warning, and they'll be back within 24 hours.
The place is not right. It's not healthy. It's dangerous for a horse to live in an area like this. We definitely will take further steps here to either make sure that they get the place right, or that we're going to take the horses.
Have you seen someone selling a puppy here?
Inspector Wayne Hector is responding to a report of a man selling puppies at the roadside.
Hello, we didn't see a boy with a puppy.
The first challenge is to find the man.
He was here now, but which side did he go?
Roadside selling needs a permit, and the city doesn't issue permits for selling puppies. Wayne's main concern is the welfare of the animals. He's been searching the area for 45 minutes, but he's not going to give up.
He's saying it's over here somewhere. It's illegal to sell puppies without a permit on the street corners, and also it's not unacceptable conditions to keep a puppy on a corner of a street.
Finally, he spots the man with 4 puppies in a basket.
Ik wil je verkopen puppies is hè? Ik wil je verkopen puppies is hè? Oké, je weet het is illegal om puppies te verkopen, hè? Het is illegal om puppies te verkopen. Wat ik ga maken, dan ga ik 2 opties geven. Als eieren, ik ga niet een woning geven, ga die puppies vatten in een woning geven. En als je weer krijgt, kan ik geprosecuteerd.
Wayne's worried about the health of the puppies. He wants them to see a vet, so he asks the man to come with him.
I told him it's illegal to sell puppies on the streets and to keep puppies in conditions that is not acceptable. It's intervention of the Animal Protection Act. So in order to, he's coming with me to the SPCA, and we're going to explain it to him there. What is the reasons that we're coming down on him like this? So we're going straight to the hospital and have it checked out.
Puppies need special care, and they need to be vaccinated against disease. The SPCA wants to discourage this sort of indiscriminate breeding and selling.
It's very hot, and these puppies can get very dehydrated very quickly. So he should still be by the mummy. He says that the mummy's at home. Sometimes you get fleas on them, so they won't be defleed, and they should be defleed, dewormed, vaccinated. The conditions that they're in is actually not so good, but this one seemed to be very, very tired and got sores all over on him. This one is not in a good condition.
Here in the hospital, the puppies will get all the care they need. The man selling them will get 7 days to claim the pups back, but he'll need to show that he's going to care for them properly. Otherwise, he could face prosecution. There are 93 societies for the prevention of cruelty to animals in South Africa. The Cape of Good Hope SPCA covers 9,000 square miles of the Western Cape, not just the city of Cape Town. Today, Senior Inspector James Murphy has headed out of town to a farm where he's been told the animals are suffering.
What we have here is apparently a farm with some livestock on it. And as the story goes that we have, it's been sold and there is nobody looking after the animals and they're deteriorating. Hi, meneer. Bly meneer hier so?
Ja.
Wie is die eind? Huh?
My naam Wilson.
Is he Wilson?
Ja.
This man says he's been hired by the owner of the sheep to look after them, but the owner hasn't brought any food for them.
Something's dead. Oh my God. Come on, sunshine. Get up. What's the matter with you? There we go. That one's dead. That one is dead. Apparently the owner's only due back tomorrow. But the sheep have been dying. He's been gone for 3 weeks. He's run out of food. Obviously the grazing is not sufficient. As you can see, these sheep are dying. This is bad. This is not good, is it? At this stage, it looks like we've got 4 so far that are done. So that one here, and then the other 2 down there, basically starving to death. So all these little gravestones here, he's kind of put them around here. He's showing me all the graves where he's buried the sheep in the last 3 weeks. Good 20 odd that's been dying here, and that is a concern as to why they're dying. Aye.
These men live nearby.
Yeah, we got a concern about some animals that are in distress here, and we've currently found 4 dying sheep.
Okay.
Do you guys know the owner, or you?
We're friends of his. I just phoned him now to ask if he knew.
He's not the owner of the sheep, though.
No, he's not the owner. He has a problem with the owner.
It's a complicated situation. The farmer who owns the sheep is paying to graze them on this land. He lives over 50 miles away. The 2 men have taken in some lambs they were especially concerned about.
You kind of done what you could to help them. Oh my gosh. They don't last very well if you don't have the colostrum. That's the first milk. Now, the colostrum is vitally important for their survival.
Yeah.
If they don't have that, you...
Just remember, these guys were all left out in the field to die by their mothers. So
Yeah.
there were 11, and we've managed to save 7 of them.
Yeah.
We've been here for 3 weeks, raising lambs that we found in the field that were basically left to die. It takes a lot of my time. Sometimes 1 a.m. in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning, I've had to come through to make sure the little lamb doesn't die. As far as I know, the farmer rented the land here to feed his flock. There are about 300 sheep or so, and he's supposed to come here once a week to drop off money and food for them, and sometimes 3 weeks he doesn't come. That's basically the story as far as I know it.
Murphy calls the man who is renting out the grazing land to the sheep farmer.
It's James Murphy, a senior inspector from the SPCA. I'm here on the farm with your friends here. We've got a concern about the livestock that are dying here. Seeing what I'm seeing here, and this is a serious matter of concern. No, they don't just die. These are dying of starvation or something. There's no food here, apparently. Well, at this stage, I can use Regulation 468 and I can confiscate all these animals. So, and you cannot throw me off the land. We need to just work together here and try and sort this out. Okay. So where's this farmer now? Anybody who's in possession, custody, care, control of the animals is responsible. So anybody currently residing on this farm can be held responsible for these horrible acts of cruelty. But we're going to need to get some veterinary advice on the sheep. I'm going to leave a note for the owner to take responsibility and call out a vet and get a diagnosis and make sure these animals are supplied with food. Failing that, we will have to get a court order and seize the sheep.
Inspector Wilber Khenkebe and trainee Inspector Jacques Buis are back in Mitchell's Plain, where a horse is being kept in a garage and a second horse in a backyard surrounded by rubble and scrap. This time, the owner's home. He's not happy about the warning notes that have been left.
I must look after my horses, I've got business to do, I've got the house to see to, I've got a lot of things to do. Now, because of the people in the road, you know, they make such an issue. There's other people that also has horses, but the people in the road doesn't interfere with them.
But you see, the problem why we keep on coming here is because what we need is not rectified.
This is going to be, we are going to clean up here, but we cannot clean up. I mean, Rome wasn't built in a day. And my main aim is that the horses has feed, they're not underfed, they have the waters, they have everything. Look at this healthy horse. It's a healthy horse. You understand, Wilber?
Yeah, I do understand, but you see, the SPCA requirements is also the living condition, not only the physical condition that you're talking about. Because now we're up to the point where we're going to have to confiscate the animals, keep it until you rectify everything here.
Okay, I'll see you guys.
We try to educate the people the correct way. They think that if they got a horse, then they can just keep it at the back of the yards. Nothing is wrong with it. But nobody take them by the hand and said, listen, this is the right way to do it. And I strongly believe that we must educate the people. If there's no improvement, we're going to take the horses till there's improvement here. So we're going to give him the choice. Either he is going to correct it himself, or we're going to force him to correct it.
At the hospital, vet George Birch has been looking after the puppies Inspector Wayne Hector brought in.
These puppies were brought in by the inspector. They were found next to the side of the road being sold. What is quite problematic when these dogs are kept next to the side of a road, you know, they actually should be with their mom busy feeding, suckling. Sometimes what happens, they don't get all the, you know, the colostrum in right at first, and then they're obviously more exposed to diseases. Most of these dogs that are getting sold, you know, people are just in it for, you know, to just make some money. So, you know, the animals' well-being is not always, you know, on top of the priority list. Basically, their condition wasn't so good, they were weak. But as you can see now, their condition has improved quite a lot. The animals are quite alert, they actually got a full abdomen, so they're eating like mad. So you can see there's no real discharges there. So look, the gums is quite pink. And you know, the big thing is usually, you know, the appetite and is the animal alert. You see, this one is so playful. It's just basic treatment that's been given, like dewormer, and also a vaccine has been given very recently. But these puppies have put on quite a lot of weight, and you can see the coat is looking really good. So it's just basic animal care that's been applied here, and the difference has been massive.
The man who was selling the pups decided to sign them over to the SPCA. Soon, they should be able to go to carefully selected new homes. It's late afternoon, and most of the inspectors are back in the office completing their paperwork for the day. Senior Inspector James Murphy has been making some more inquiries about the farm where sheep have been dying, trying to get to the bottom of the complex situation.
I've spoken to the farmer, and he's has a concern in that he struggles to bring the food in because the gate is locked and he hasn't got a key and somebody keeps changing the lock and that sort of thing. At this stage, I'm concerned about the sheep and I need to make sure that they get their feed and that sort of thing. He's organised to bring some food up.
Murphy's beginning to lose his patience.
I don't know, we need to kind of come to some agreement because farmers renting the land and, you know, if the one doesn't pay the rent and the other one gets spiteful and that sort of thing. This is what it kind of sounds like, that they're not communicating and the animals are being used in this tug of war. You know, if that's kind of the case, then, yeah, somebody needs to get a slap on the knuckles. It's, you know, it's unacceptable.
A plea for help has come into the SPCA, and trainee inspector Moyo Makar has been dispatched.
I've just received a call that there is a puppy stuck underneath the kennel, and I'm coming to rescue the puppy.
Moyo's come prepared, because it sounds like the mother dog is not going to help the rescue.
So where is she? She's tied. Oh, great.
I think there's 3 still under, and the other 3, she took out the other 3.
Okay. Hello, puppy. It's all right, it's all right, it's all right.
The woman says there are 6 puppies, and they keep falling between the slats in the floor of their kennel. She can't get to them because she's afraid of the mother dog.
It's all right. It's all right.
Moyo can't get to the kennel either, until he has restrained their mother.
It's all right, 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 boy. It's all right, it's all right, it's all right, it's all right. It's all right, it's all right, it's all right. There's a space in between the boards, so the puppies would have been falling down through the boards. What I would suggest is putting maybe something like a board. If you could fold it, maybe we fold it and then we put it inside the kennel. Okay. Sorry to make you to work this hard. The puppies are 2 days old, and well, the motherly instinct is to be protective. Oh. Okay. All right.
The other puppies have crawled out behind the kennel. From now on, they'll stay safe inside.
It's all right. The cupboard that I put there is just a temporary measure so that the puppies, like there are boards in between the kennel, so the puppies can, the space between the boards, the puppies can fall through. So the cardboard is so that the puppies, they are all level and there's no chance of them falling down underneath the kennel. It's all right, it's all right, it's all right. Yeah, generally the puppies, they look quite good. The condition looks all right, and condition of the mother is also quite good. So now she looks quite happy because I think she was concerned also with the puppies being underneath the kennel. Now she can have a good look at all the puppies, and I think she's happy now.
The mother dog's happy, and so is Moyo. He solved the problem, and no one got hurt. When he found sheep sick and dying on a farm outside Cape Town, Senior Inspector James Murphy contacted the tenant of the land and the farmer who owns the sheep and told them that between them, they must ensure the sheep get veterinary care, food and water. Now Chief Inspector Andres Venter has decided to take a look for himself.
Ooh, is that dead or alive? That one is shocking. This is not a farmer.
It's basically starved to death.
Venter's brought Inspector Wayne Hector and Chief Vet Miles Penfold with him.
If you have a look at the eyes over here, they like really pale instead of a nice pink color, and that's just from basically intestinal parasites that they're draining all the blood out of the body, so they become anemic like this. And these are basically starved. So this could just be prevented by regular deworming and proper nutrition. But at this stage, for an animal to get like this is horrific.
You've got pictures here, hey, Wayne? Can you bring me the captive bull, please?
You can't get an animal back from this in this stage. We'll just put them down. There's nothing that I can do to rectify this. Okay. When we captive bolt them, it's a humane way of putting them down. Instead of having a free projectile like a bullet destroying the brain, you've got a bolt which is going out about that far, which just instantaneously renders the animal totally unconscious of anything going on with it. And we then just slit the throat so that we can bleed out the carcass. So it's a very humane way of putting them down, very quick, very clean.
Outside, the situation's no better.
There's dead ones. At all the shady spots, there seems to be dead ones. Top of each other, next to each other with little lambs.
It looks like this one's just died in the space of time that we've been here. You can see its corneas, they're still a little bit moist, so it's probably only passed away in the last an hour or two at the most. If you have a look on the eyes here as well, just totally white. So again, parasites just basically drain them of their blood into the gut, and when you get to a critical loss of blood, you die. And this is partly what's happened here.
I've spoken to the state vets and I've spoken to the people that reside or care on the property, and it is my understanding that the owner of the sheep has very little interest in the animal's welfare at the moment. Either he can't afford it or he doesn't care. As a result, they've deteriorated, they've picked up mange, hence the reason the farm's been placed under quarantine, and they're also apparently riddled with worms.
This is straight neglect. There's actually no excuse for it. If you have animals, you must learn how to care for them, and a very simple, basic animal care or herd health plan would have prevented all of this.
We're going to try and ascertain what the full circumstances are, why he's not giving the attention that's supposed to be given. But in terms of the Animals Protection Act, I am planning on lodging a case against him for cruelty, for neglect, and I'll let the courts decide on what will happen with the remaining sheep.
Murphy, meanwhile, has been dispatched on a rescue mission. A dog's trapped underneath a car, and Wildlife Inspector Kira Joshua's having no luck getting him out.
We have a dog that's head's allegedly stuck between the wheel and the axle.
Oh,
right.
Okay. We got a growler. Okay. He's growling.
We're going to get a leash and then we can try and hook his head and secure him at least.
This morning, as I was pulling my car out of the driveway, when I went back to close the gates, I saw this dog roaming around at the back. So I ran around the other side to chase him out so that he could go out. And he came out, but he didn't come further than the car. When I looked for him, I saw him under the car. And I tried to shoo him out of the car, and he wouldn't budge.
He's obviously a little distressed or something. What we need to try and do is secure his head, if we can get this lead over. Is it possible to turn the steering wheel or what? Dear, I can't see where he's actually stuck in here. He's just... Hey, come on, big boy. Okay. Just try and get the leash over his neck so that we can... Okay, you got it. Okay, you got it?
Wait, Jess.
Okay, pull it.
I can't see where... There we go.
There we go. Okay. I think he's just sitting here. So we just need to basically pull him out slowly. Come on, dog. I don't think he's stuck. He's just crawled himself into the wheel well, and it's, yeah, he's just scared of maybe. It's possible he got bumped by a car or something and kind of just crawled in. Okay, turn.
Turn.
Turn. Okay. Come down. Let's lie down. Go, you put your head down. There you go. There we go.
Hey, puppy.
Goodness me, you're full of grease. Cool. It's out.
The dog's shocked and frightened, but appears unharmed.
There we go. He's a little scared. Shame, man.
I've never actually seen him. There are quite a few dogs that run around stray here in the area, but this one I've never really seen before.
Bucky, a bit thin. You can feel his ribs, and he's just very scared. Probably a neighborhood dog. I think he kind of ran in there because he was scared of something and tried to hide and got himself stuck, and he just didn't want to come out of there, you know. We'll take him back to the hospital, and the vets just have a look at him, feed him up, and put him on the lost and found, and see whether anybody claims him. Failing that, and we'll put him up for adoption. I'm sure he would make a good companion for somebody.
At the SPCA, Inspector Wilber Khenkebe and trainee Inspector Jacques Buis have been debating what to do about the horse being kept in a garage and the other horse in the backyard. They've decided to discuss it with stable master Tex Davey, who knows the owner well.
Over the past 2 years, he's been a problem, this fella. And it's the same story. We've always given him the benefit of the doubt, and but I can see the same pattern here. And on occasions, he's had no horses, and then he'll pop up again 3 months down the line, and he's got 6, 7 horses, and there's a complaint. I think myself he's a bit of a horse dealer. That's the reason why he's got the horses. Yeah, I think enough is enough. We've given him enough time and enough chances, and he's giving us the runaround.
Wilber and Jacques are going to visit the man again. They've already obtained a court order authorizing them to seize the horses. So if there's still been no improvement, this time they'll be ready to act immediately.
Still the same. The situation is still the same. It is still kept here in this small garage stable, and there's no bedding here still. There's still no bedding. So I'm gonna confiscate the horse now. I'm gonna load the big one first, and then take the small one.
The horse is still in the garage, and nothing is done about it. I mean, we passed the education stage now. It's now time for him to learn the hard way. You know what is expected from him. We try to help him. He must build a new stable here. It's too small. It's not big enough. This place here is anyway not suitable for a horse. Box nicely. Hey, that's good. Between all the laundry, a window that is open where the horse can get hurt. So yeah, not before this is finalized and fixed. He's not going to get his horse back.
The man will have to act quickly. Legislation says he has to cover the cost to the SPCA of caring for his horses. He could be facing a hefty bill.
It's not a thing of giving him another home. He had to pay the boarding, and if there's any medication that the horses must get, he's going to pay for the vet's account as well. I mean, everything costs money. The horse is not going to get free stabling or free boarding for him to satisfy.
James Murphy and Kira Joshua have returned to Grassy Park with the dog that was trapped under a car. Vet George Birch will take a look at him.
Easy. Oh, my head is like crawled into a corner there.
Come, puppy, come. Come, baby.
I think he's just one of those kind of very frightened dogs. It would take a bit of kind of working with him and to get his confidence and come out to people. Now you have grease all over you. You greasy dog, you. Come on, let's go. Let's go this way.
a good feel at the lymph nodes and the body condition, which is obviously not that good. This dog is very nervous. But as you can see, the body condition of this dog is extremely poor. There's no mass. This coat is actually quite deceptive because if you feel underneath, there's nothing. It's just bones here, all over the place. You know, if you get a dog like this, they come from a home or area where, you know, animal husbandry is not really that high on the priority list, and most of the times these animals actually get, you know, quite beaten and neglected really badly. So they, you know, don't around people, especially now strange people, they're especially scared. But usually after they pass on through the hospital to the kennels, they, you know, they seem to lighten up a little bit once they see that, you know, we're not out to hurt them or anything. I think for this dog, all we need is really some deworming and some good food.
If no one has come to claim the dog within 7 days, they'll begin the process of preparing him for adoption. Now Wilber and Jacques are back with the 2 horses they seized in Mitchell's Plain. The horses soon show their appreciation of the space to move around in safely.
Yeah, that's lekker, huh? Ooh, that's lekker. Yeah, this is a better environment for him. He got space here, as you can see. The moment he enters here, he wants to roll. That's part of his nature. There, you haven't got the space, as you could see there. Between the laundry and all the rubble there, he will enjoy it, yeah.
This is something they do naturally, which he hasn't been able to do. Because like dogs, they like to roll, you know. He's in good condition. His condition isn't bad. We won't release the animals back to the conditions that we've just taken them from. He will have to come out with an ulterior arrangement, build a stable, a proper stable, with the correct space and so on. And those are the only conditions we will release his animals. What he has in his favour is, as I say, their condition is very good. They are looked after. I'm looking at the feet have been cared for. The problem we have here, because his horses are cared for to a point, he thinks everything is okay. So he's overlooking the fact that they're not being housed or stabled correctly. And it keeps going on. It's the same long playing record. You know what I mean? He thinks everything is fine.
They hope the owner will get the message now and give his horses a proper home. If not, court action could follow, and the likely outcome is that he won't be getting these horses back. It didn't take long for the puppies that Inspector Wayne Hector rescued to be adopted. They stayed at the SPCA until they'd had all their vaccinations, were free of worms and declared healthy. Just in time for Esther Krieger and her daughter Stacey to pick one of them out to take home.
The adoption procedure was amazing. We went there the one day and they let us walk around and see who we wanted. And once we picked her, we went back for 2 days just to visit her. And they were amazing. They really were. They were very efficient and very professional and wonderful. What happened is my oldest daughter left for America. So we decided we needed a replacement. And we thought we would go to the SPCA and just see, because to me it makes sense to try and adopt her. And I wish I had done it before with my other pets, because it's very rewarding, and it's, you know, the idea that we've given her a home. We've had her for now going on 3 weeks.
She was a bit quiet at first when we first got her, but then after about a day or so, she got a lot more at home and was okay after that.
She's very comfortable. She knows the house. She walks up and down stairs. She's happy, healthy, and a little bit naughty sometimes. She loves to chew.
She chews through wires a lot.
Yes. The upstairs telephone wouldn't work today, and I realized why.
And her brothers and sister have settled in just as well to their new homes too. No one came to claim the dog that senior inspectors James Murphy and Kira Joshua rescued from underneath a car. But the SPCA hasn't been able to find him a new home yet, due to an unexpected setback.
This guy came in about 2 weeks ago, came in clinically sound, and he went over to kennels when he's been boarding. I saw him about 4 days ago, and he must have arrived incubating tick bite fever because his gums were really pale, and we did a blood smear on him and found that he was now showing signs of tick bite fever, lots of parasites in the blood. So we treated him and gave him a whole lot of supportive treatments, gave him some injections just to block the inflammatory process in the body, and then blood transfusion, and almost immediately he was feeling 100%. So from looking just a little bit down, having come in with tick bite fever, within 4 hours after a blood transfusion, he was up again and eating, and we should hopefully see him picking up some condition with some feeding in the next couple of weeks.
Thankfully, the problem was spotted quickly, and he should soon be ready to begin the adoption process again.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold him for maybe another day or so. All I'm doing at the moment is I'm just tapering off the last of our medical dosages, but pretty much we're going to be sending him back to kennels to just get some weight up on him again. And yeah, you can see he's feeling happy with life here. So yeah, probably another 2 or 3 days we'll send him back to kennels, maybe even tomorrow. But yeah, he's looking fantastic.
It's been 3 weeks since the farm where sheep were dying was placed under a quarantine order, and the SPCA took charge of the sheep. The surviving sheep have been getting veterinary care, and they're already looking much healthier. Senior Inspector James Murphy's been paying regular visits.
Well, they're back here on the farm with the dying sheep. Just as an extra bit of roughage for the sheep, I've brought some of this ote so that we can improve the sheep's condition. Now we've taken responsibility for the sheep, so we need to just make sure that they get provided for. Because the vet is going to be doing their third treatment on the sheep. They have a contagious sheep mange, and so the farmers are under quarantine, so none of the sheep can be moved. And they're apparently looking better, and none of them have subsequently died. Owner of the sheep was here, but at this stage we've kind of escorted the sheep and put them into the custody of the landowner, and we are pressing charges against the owner of the sheep for cruelty to animals.
The neighbours had taken in 11 lambs. Now there are just 3.
Who wants munchies? Come on.
The lambs that have survived, there's 3 of them, are looking pretty good. So yeah, hopefully their progress, they will continue to grow up and be happy sheep.
Oh, who wants the bottle?
One of the neighbours, Shannon Ogilvie, has made it her personal mission to ensure no harm comes to these 3 lambs.
They came from bad stock, basically. Their parents weren't inoculated. They didn't have any antigens in them. So when they came into the world, they really didn't have a chance, And that's why it's been so hard to keep them alive, and no one could pinpoint what the actual problem was. But it's been touch and go, basically, yeah. I mean, we had to get the food formula right, and weaning them off the milk and then giving them actual hard substance to eat hasn't been easy. We take them home sometimes. Then I stay up all night because this little lamb is by my bed going, meh. And the only way to calm it down is to actually cuddle up to it. And, I've got this way of sleeping that I don't move throughout the whole night.
With protection against disease and a good supply of food, the sheep are finally getting the care they should have had all along. The owner of the sheep will have to explain to a court why he didn't look after his animals like this.
He's gonna kill himself.
Almost 2 months ago, trainee Inspector Jacques Buis and Inspector Wilber Khenkebe found 2 horses living in unhealthy conditions, one in a yard, one in a garage.
I must look after my horses. I've got business to do. I've got a house to see to. I've got a lot of things to do.
After the owner failed to make any improvements, both horses were taken into the care of the SPCA.
It's now time for him to learn the hard way.
The owner had 7 days to claim his horses back, but he needed to provide a proper home for them or face charges. He didn't make the improvements and he didn't claim the horses. Now Jacques has found a new owner for the horse from the garage.
Okay.
Carolyn Gilmer will take care of him on her farm in the hills near Wynberg.
Hey, boy. Okay, I'm going to put him in the paddock next door, yeah? It's your new home. He has a room with a view. Those two are boyfriend and girlfriend, so he's jealous. Rescuing horses is my life. I find that there's nothing more rewarding to me than taking a horse that's had been abused or starved and bringing it here and rehabilitating it. Luckily, I have a very nice husband that supports me financially, and I go home with nothing at the end of the day, but I'm very happy just spending all my time and effort and love giving to horses. They've got to find out in a natural herd who is the more domineering of the horses. And in this way, they are socializing and getting to know who's going to back down or not. Unfortunately, the Palomino horse is very jealous because this is his girlfriend, so Beach Boy is a threat to him. I'll let Beach Boy settle in now that he's just arrived. Definitely give him a lot more food and try and fatten him up and give him as much love as possible and take him on gentle hacks. That's what he will be doing for the rest of his life.
Very delightful to see what is going on here. The horse is settled in very well, and you can see it by the way that it trotted here and looked at the place and see for himself what is going on. You can see he's tried to reach the other horses as well and to find his way here. It's good to see that the natural signs is coming out.